Hey folks, how you doing? Good to be back with you. Uh, Thought I would talk about imagery and let's say the ancient gods. So we have the god Shu, Shu. He's a god of breathing force, god of air, god of wind, etc. Well, it has to do with breathing, and he also is associated with the sun, so he's like a sun god too. Okay, but she was related with the idea, okay, of lowering the sun, to lower the sun, such as lowering the sun to the underworld and raising the sun back up, moving the sun around, up and down. Okay. Uh, People have seen, I'm sure, some pictures of an individual with his hands up like this. Sometimes you see him with empty hands. Sometimes you see him with the orb, the sun, in his hands as he's holding the sun. And sometimes you see him in a stooping position, stooping down, holding the sun. Well, this stooping down indicates that he's going to the underworld with the sun in the underworld. Then on the other hand, we see the god holding the sun up, and he's standing up. He's not stooping down. Then, at this point, he is raising the sun above the horizon. Okay. So these images, okay, are used by, or were used by folks doing their meditations, because the human has solar energy within himself. And so it's using this solar energy, moving this solar energy, let's say, around. For example, the human breathes solar energy every time he takes a breath. Solar energy enters the body. And so the sun god, Shu, lowers this energy. And then in another character, or it's the same god but a different name, a different character, let's say he's bringing out, he raises the sun up above the horizon. But all this is taking place within the human. The human is doing this. The human conducts the situation. He's in charge of the solar energy within himself or herself. You see. And this is usually joined with a breathing exercise. But certainly the imagination is important, because the person who's engaging in this exercise must imagine the movement of the sun down and up. You must imagine the solar god Shu stooping down with the sun, and then you see his other aspect, who was and her Shu, raising it up. You see. Now, this and her, okay, Well, we take the word an, A-N, which means completion. In this context, it means completion of the circle, to make the full circle, the full trip and around. Then begin again as the turner back, continue doing this exercise. You see? And if a person does this, as set forth by the ancients, he will evoke a certain energy, and therefore certain imageries or images can appear to him. You see. One thing is the power of the imagination. Because if a person focuses imagery, his image, on a certain part of the body, if he focuses there, his imagination, on a certain part of the body, eventually that, and it won't take long, eventually that part of the body will begin to warm up, heat up a little, and it'll be noticeable, you see. And this is an idea of the power of the imagination, which the human can use it in order to conduct certain exercises, etc. But imagery is important. So then we have we take what we call Nekbet, the goddess Nekbet, and the goddess Watchet. They call them the Wacheti. Well, Nekbet is the vulture, and Watchet is the serpent, the Uræus serpent. We see him on the forehead of the pharaohs and the queens and certain gods too. Okay. But they represent something. Okay. They might represent many different things, but they do represent magnetic energy and the repelling force of electric energy. Okay. So a person, of course, wants to go through this life in safety. Well, these two gods, Nekbet and Watchet, are protective deities. You see, the serpent will repel a force that is bad for us. Given something that we want to accomplish in life, or we want to live our lives in a certain way, then certain things we shouldn't do, certain things we shouldn't be involved in. So the repelling force of Watchet will protect us from getting involved in what we shouldn't be involved in. You see? And when it comes to Nekbet, it's an attractive force. It attracts us, the person, to what we should be involved in. Something that will be conducive to the way we want to live our lives. You know, it puts us on a track to what we need in order to live the life that we want to live. You see? So it's magnetic. It creates like an attracting force between the person and what he wants to achieve in order to live the life that he wants to live. But during the exercise, the person imagines this. He can imagine these two deities right there on his brow. If it's something that the person feels as though he shouldn't or she shouldn't be involved in, then conduct the exercise. And if a repelling force comes over the person doing this exercise, you see, well, it's telling the person they shouldn't get involved in whatever it is that he was contemplating on getting involved in. You see, and so this is the repelling electrical force, the serpent, represented by the serpent, and then we have the attractive force that will more or less okay something that we were contemplating on getting involved in, and then there you will have more or less a welcoming force, a pleasantness will come over the person. In other words, letting the person know that, yeah, this is all right. This is in line with the way you're living your life. Okay, thanks, folks. Subscribe. Much more to talk about. And have a good day.